Hi lovely people, it's Candy here. Welcome back to my channel. Video 5 for self-compassion with the tarot. And a few days ago now, I pulled the Temperance card and immediately I was struck with the coincidences of the timing of this card, because Temperance is the major arcana card that's linked with Sagittarius. And I pulled it the day before the Sagittarian full moon. I'm a Sagittarius too, so all of those synchronicities played into my thinking with this card. Now, temperance, balance, that middle path, finding that middle path in life. And I thought, does that link to self-compassion, finding the middle path? Now, I am a true Sagittarian, and I think when I think about Sagittarian energy and myself, I think of the arrow. Sagittarius is the archer, and the arrow which sometimes is pulled back and then sometimes is let go and is in flight. It's two extremes. And for me and other Sagittarians I meet, or a person in Sagittarian energy, I think that kind of sums it up. It's an all or nothing type of energy. I am either unable to cope with life and in hibernation, pulled back, or I'm chasing the next grand creative project, adventure, some harebrained scheme that is giving people pause to think, what on earth is she up to now? So the middle path is quite tricky to find and not always really seductive when you're an arrow. So I didn't quite know where to go with this card. I'm never drawn to the middle path. I'm never drawn to balance. I am often in hibernation or chasing the next grand scheme. Typical Sagittarian. And I don't think you need to be a Sagittarian to understand that all or nothing mentality. So I mulled on it for a while, and then the Sagittarian full moon hit, and I got my journal out to do what I always do on a full moon, which is to write a release list. Things that I need to let go of, a very self-compassionate practice, you would think. So my moon practice, it's really quite simple. I do a reading on the new moon and I come up with a list of things I want to try and achieve in the next moon cycle. When the full moon hits, I kind of reassess, I release things, and then when the new moon hits again, it starts all over again. It ties in with my Kanban board here, where every month now I am putting up things that I want to try and achieve, goal setting. So the moon, goal setting, releasing, keeping a track of progress, it's all intertwined. So the Sagittarian full moon hit, this was in my mind, and I sat down to write my release list, and I had a hissy fit. I went into full-blown tantrum mode, and I thought, I just can't be bothered, because it seems like I'm writing the same damn things on this list every single month, the same things to release, and I just felt soul crushed. I felt demoralized, and a lot of your comments came back into my head where you've said with the self-compassion thing, it's easier said than done, and it is. And I sat looking at this journal thinking, it's easier said than done. So why am I stuck? Why the hell is this list the same every damn month? Why have I down tools this month? And then the Temperance card came back into my mind, and I went back to thoughts I'd had with my Kanban board and goal setting this last month, because things changed over there for goal setting, and I think it was a natural follow on that when I hit full moon as well, my thoughts around release would change as well. And I suddenly realized I was searching out a middle path anyway. It tied in. So goal setting, releasing, movement forward on the middle path, how does this all tie in with self-compassion? There was no wiggle room in my goal setting and releasing regime to just be human, to need a rest, to allow time for reality, being a single mom, for keeping on top of a house, for doing 3 school runs at 3 different school settings. There was no wiggle room for all of that. I'd already spotted it in the goal setting phase of each moon cycle because the Kanban board had made it so visual. It was easy to see. It became really obvious really quickly. But my tantrum this Sagittarian full moon with my release list also made me realise that it was spreading into that whole aspect of goal setting, progression, feeling like you're moving forward. It was stopping my momentum. Not achieving, reaching for the stars was putting me into self-sabotage. It was triggering my inner critic to start yelling that I was failing, you can't do it, you're rubbish. And it was making me down tools altogether. So inadvertently, Sagittarian energy of shooting for the stars with all of the best intent in the world was leading me into self-sabotage, downing tools. And no wonder every month was showing me no progression. And I wonder if I'm the only one. I doubt it. And that's why I wanted to talk about the middle path with goal setting and releasing in this series. Because are you giving yourself wiggle room to be human? Are you goal setting kindly? Are you putting so much pressure on yourself that the second there's a hint that you're not measuring up to the impossible, you're downing tools completely? Are you, with the best intentions, throwing yourself into being static, sitting in self-sabotage because you're realizing subconsciously that the stars aren't attainable every month? So I started mulling the middle path. As a Sagittarian, it's not very appealing. I want to be chasing the stars, and I don't think we need to completely obliterate that. It's really nice to have a grand project that pushes you out of your comfort zone, but it might be that we aim for the stars a little bit more realistically, and that we throw some real world middle path goals in there so that we can celebrate lots of wins to keep us going. So I'm going to take you over to the Kanban board and I'm going to show you what I did at the start of May before I pulled this card for the goal setting. And then I'm going to talk about how I think it's going to change my full moon practice of releasing. So my Kanban board, let's think about the middle path. Up here we've got all the jobs that I want to get done. Here are all the jobs that are currently being worked on. Down the bottom are all the jobs that I've actually completed. Now, I started this in January for the first time ever, and I put a whole quarter up, 3 months worth of goals, and this was just packed white. And I very quickly realised that I'd probably given myself 4 years worth of tasks to do in 3 months, and very quickly began to stack up those should haves. You should have done that by now, you should have done that, you haven't done that, you should have done that. It was just awful, and it quickly made me realise that should have needs to be completely taken out of my vocabulary and replaced with that would be fun to try. If I don't get to it, that's fine. When I hit April, I decided not to put another quarter up. I decided to do it a month at a time. This is what you're looking at. You're looking at May's Kanban board. Down the bottom, there are the whole of this quarter's jobs done though. I'm leaving that with as many tags on as possible so I can celebrate it. But these two are just for May. And I put less on. Being sensible with how much time you actually have is one of the first things for self-compassion. I realised this month I was berating myself every day for not doing a lot in the day in between school runs, dropping the kids off at school and then picking them back up. And I worked it out, and by the time I've sorted the dogs, walked the dogs, exercised, had my morning shower, which is always delayed after the school run, I get about an hour and a half that's all I get. So being sensible with my time and not putting so much on has really helped with overwhelm, first of all. Also, I started thinking about the journey more, enjoying the journey rather than chasing the outcome. And when I think about the journey, thinking about how I would like to feel on the journey. So instead of putting, say, 10 books on there with their titles, I just put to sink into a chair and enjoy reading this month. So that feeling of being cozy, that's what went on the Kanban board. For my health and fitness, instead of putting like lose £4 every week and some really strict routines, I just put one giant tag that says I eat to save myself, I sleep to save myself, I move to save myself, and I laugh to save myself. That tag says it all, and it gives me wiggle room for some days not being able to exercise, some days being called into my daughter's school for issues and not getting to anything. If I can just aim for that this month, then that's fantastic. Instead of writing massive lists of so many paintings, so many drawings to get to, I put to find new peaceful ways to enjoy my art studio, so not to stress myself out. And it's been lovely in there. I've been using the art studio to relax in at night with lights on. It's been fantastic listening to rain in there. So peace, contentment and calm and self-care. It's been about the journey, goals to do with the journey, not the outcome. And also what I've started doing on there, I've started putting some mom real life goals on there. Not because I wasn't doing it, these things are going to get done anyway, but because I wanted to tell my psyche that I value it. So to have a movie evening with the kids is up there, to make them laugh with their lunch boxes is up there. And I'm going to do more of that next month. Things that we would do anyway, like to have fun on the school run, to surprise the kids by giving their room a makeover, to cuddle the kids till my arms ache. I put that on there as well. So things that it's not going up there to make you do it, it's going up there to make you value it. If we don't put everyday real life goals up there, then what are we saying to ourselves? Are we saying to ourselves that that's not valuable? I don't want to feel like that anymore. I am a single mom. I have 3 kids. Most of my time is spent looking after my kids. I don't want to feel like I'm achieving nothing because it's not on there. There are loads of moms I know that say I've done nothing today, and they've completely discounted their life as a mom, and they're only valuing the other things that come after that. So that's how I changed my goal setting. I got more journey focused, less outcome focused. I became more realistic about the time I've got so as not to overwhelm myself. I've started valuing the everyday reality of being a human in this life with kids to look after and a house to clean, and I've put those on there as well to value myself. So those aspects are the middle path. That's temperance in goal setting, I think. And yes, there are some bigger goals on there that are really going to push me. That's important too. We still want to be the arrow. Collapsing into a chair to read is the arrow pulled back. All aspects of what we need, soaring through the air, being pulled back to rest, and the middle path, all 3 things are on there. So that's what I did for goal setting. And then we're going to fast forward to the Sagittarian full moon, which is when I pulled this card, and what happened with my release list. So when I got to the full moon, when I pulled the temperance card, and I realised it was going to be similar things going on my release list, and that I hadn't moved forward very much again, I realised that I was also putting the same pressure on releasing things, which for me equates to healing. If you're letting things go that don't serve you, that's healing. So the full moon for me is a really healing energy. I was putting the same pressure on my healing and releasing at the full moon as I was on my goal setting on the new moon, demanding too much too fast. Pressure I was putting on my release lists was also throwing me into being stationary with no movement. So I realised that just like with the goal setting at the new moon, the release list at the full moon for healing and reassessment of goals, also that needs to be gentler. So I put things on there after I'd thought this all through, like I need to release the need for perfectionism. And doesn't that just sum it up? All of this is expecting ourselves to be perfect, not allowing our feet to tread the middle path. I wrote, the middle path is possibly doing 2 out of 10 things, or planning for a rest, or turning the should have dones that plague your internal dialogue into the I didn't do, but that's okay. I let go of self-sabotage and self-abandoning myself because of perfectionism. I'm allowing myself to be human and celebrating the journey, for we have adventures awaiting. So it sounded different. It sounded really different. My goal setting sounded different at the beginning of the month. My full moon release list sounds very different. And this card pulled on the Sagittarian full moon was a really good reminder that self-compassion is allowing yourself to walk the middle path, as well as allowing yourself to fly through the air when you feel like it, and as well as allowing yourself to sink into a cozy chair with a book and rest and be the pulled back arrow when you also need it. There are 3 different ways of getting to the same destination. Some put you on pause, some get you there very gently and very slowly, some get you there fast with exuberant screams. All 3 are great, and I'd forgotten the middle path. So self-compassion in goal setting, self-compassion in moving forward, self-compassion to let go of overwhelm, self-compassion to let go of perfectionism, self-compassion to give yourself the wiggle room to be human and to accept your reality, self-compassion to goal set your everyday jobs to give them value, self-compassion to get realistic with yourself about how much time you have, self-compassion to realise that your goals are not just the things that you do when you've managed to get real life out of the way. Your real life should be your goal. And to enjoy that truly, we need the self-compassion to focus on the journey and not just the outcome. So I hope that's been useful. And then I just have to tell you about the Dreams of Gaia and the animal spirit cards that I also pulled the morning that I woke up after pulling this card, because look again at the synchronicity with these cards, the direction of the women, just the whole synchronicity of it. I just have found it absolutely amazing. Three of Water in the Dreams of Gaia says, celebrate your victories, take satisfaction from your endeavours, free yourself from unrealistic expectations, and allow the outcome to manifest freely. Pulling this card signifies the importance of taking time to appreciate, celebrate and enjoy yourself along the way. Self-compassion of giving yourself time, owning your wins, dropping expectations, you can't always be the arrow, and celebrating every little win on the journey was perfect. And then the animal spirit card I pulled, this came out twice. It came out once, but I wasn't sure whether I dropped it. So I actually said to the card, well, you'll come out again if it was you. I put it back in the deck and sat shuffling again, and it flew out twice. and it couldn't be more perfect for the message. The golden egg is your heart voice, your purpose, your very essence of who you are and what you want to do in life. And it's protected in a nest. It's in a nest of self-compassion. An egg takes time to hatch. We need to give ourselves time. We need to protect ourselves, all our desires, give it time. And the moon above it reminds us of the Sagittarian full moon that gave us this message. Amazing time with the cards, an amazing practical way forward for me and hopefully some of you to put self-compassion into daily action. I pulled another card and I forgot to film it, so I'm just going to show you what the next card is. It's this glorious world card, which I think is so beautiful in this Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot. So I am going to sit with the world card for a while. I might not upload the videos straight away. I am loving this self-compassion series, but I might need a few days break because it's a lot to think about. So the self-compassion series is going to carry on because Jen, I'm absolutely loving it. I'm going to leave all of Jen's links in the description box because it was her baby. She birthed this fantastic tag, and yeah, so I'm loving it. It might be a few days before I upload the next one. Thank you for all your encouragement and comments. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.